What's up, everybody? It's Luke James, not the singer. If you're looking to contact me, you can hit up this email that's right here. But today I'm going to hit you up with my thoughts and opinions on this new album from Isaiah Rashad called The House is Burning. Now, Isaiah Rashad is up there with Kendrick Lamar as one of my favorite rappers on TDE, and he's coming out of Chattanooga, Tennessee. He dropped a project called Cilvia Demo back in 2014, and that is one of my favorite hip-hop projects of all time. I absolutely loved that one, and even though I didn't like the Sun's tirade as much as most people, I still thought it was a pretty solid album that had some great moments. I actually took a lot of heat for not loving that one, but I did love this one, so I'm curious to see how you guys would rank his albums. Now, the Sun's tirade actually dropped in 2016, so Isaiah has been gone away for a long time. Those 5 years have flown by, and I mean hell, with COVID going on, the past couple of years have gone exceptionally fast. But within those past 5 years, Isaiah Rashad has been suffering through mental illness, addiction, he's been in rehab, he was sleeping on friends' couches, he's been through a lot of things, and he's been very open about it in recent interviews, so I was just happy to see him back making music and to see that he's in a better headspace. I actually loved all the singles going into this one. We had Lay With You featuring Duke Deuce. This was a 3-6 Mafia inspired banger that was eerie and evil as fuck. I really enjoyed that one. And then with Headshots for the Locals, we got those dreamy Cilvia Demo vibes that so many of us were wanting. That one felt like it could have been put on Cilvia Demo and it would have fit in perfectly. So with those first two singles, he was showing us two different sides of him. He hit us with a heavy banger and then a smoothed out joint. And then with the third single called What You Said featuring I Am Doechii and Cal Banks, he gave us something else that was different. This one is a summertime banger with a pool party video to match. Absolutely love that video, man. Shout out to all the beautiful black women that he had in there. And this was a catchy song to me. This perfectly works for the summer. It slaps. And I gotta shout out I Am Doechii in particular because I love her flows on this. They are so catchy. They've been stuck in my head ever since I heard her on there. So I'm gonna have to look more into her music. I also need to point out how the hook is a throwback to the Entourage's track from 2003 called The Bunny Hop. So there's lots of interesting things happening on this song, and as I said, all three of these singles hit perfectly for me, so I was excited to check the rest of it. And we open up with the song Dark Side. This is named after the comic villain. If you've read some of his recent interviews, you can see that Isaiah has really been getting into comics, and on this one he's just focusing on himself and trying to take care of his kids. You're getting this drumless, vocal-backed, minimalistic production here that works really well, and I like this intro because it lets us know where he's at in life and how he is trying to make things better. That's certainly a current theme as you listen through, that Isaiah is trying to get on the right track. And while I wouldn't say that this is an incredibly in-depth album with stunning lyricism, crazy concepts, and storytelling, he is still going to open up to you and be honest to you as you listen through. I really appreciate that he does this because it's almost like he's a phoenix rising from the ashes, like on the title track where he's battling addiction and looking for purpose with that signature raspy style of his. You'll also notice that the hook on this borrows from Goody Mob's Cell Therapy, so that made for a really cool moment here, and I did like the organ-laced production as well. The soulful track Happy Birthday to You is a perfect follow-up, as once again he's grappling with addiction as well as his faith as he spits, if you don't get yourself straight, who the fuck is you gon' help? I thought that was a very powerful moment of self-realization where he's realizing that he has to get back on track in order to take care of others and help them out as much as he wants to. So there are even themes of hopelessness on this. You'll pick up on this on Don't Shoot as he's touching on how people sometimes feel like they have nothing to lose and just nothing to live for. And it's a very somber track with a dope sax outro and catchy hook. I swear to God, you're going to be singing along Don't Shoot over and over, but probably much better than I just did it because that was not good at all. He also dropped a very valuable lesson when he spit, you can't blame your God, sometimes you gotta maintain your side. That's just the idea of how you can't go through life with blind faith. You have to also put in work because that's how things are going to get better for you. You got to take advantage of those opportunities, stay positive, make good decisions, all those sorts of things. So even though, like I said, it's not the most overly lyrical project, there are still plenty of things to pick up on here if you listen through and pay attention to what he's saying. But some of my favorite moments on here come when he really leans into that R&B sound. With the song Claymore, you're getting a beautiful track with groovy bass and guitar work, as well as a Smino feature that fits perfectly because they're backing each other up with sing-songy flows. And then with Score, we have Black and SZA helping out. This one is absolutely beautiful, and I could see this being another single because it does have a bit more mainstream appeal, it's very catchy, and you're getting that accessibility and star power to it as well. So those are two of my favorite tracks right there to go along with many favorite tracks, and there are some other great features I gotta talk about as well. On the song Chad, we get YG Tut, and I was glad to hear him because I think that Preacher's Son mixtape he dropped years ago was absolutely fire, but since then there hasn't been too much from him that I really loved, so I hope this gets him back on track. He sounded great on this one, And again, Isaiah is showing love to Southern legends on here as he interpolates Pimp C's Big Pimpin' verse on the hook. And I think it's really dope how he does that, because when you listen to any Isaiah Rashad project, you are going to pick up on him throwing back to Southern legends, whether he's borrowing beats, sampling, remixing, bringing lyrics into his own songs. I think he does a great job of that. And you'll even pick up on this on R.I.P. Young, where we get a sample from Project Pat's Cheese and Dope. This is easily a standout track. This is one of those ones that's a night rider. It just has an all-out vibe to it. It's just a cruising track for when you're driving slow with the windows down. So I think that's one that a lot of people will have as a personal favorite. But to keep things moving here, for other features, we have Lil Uzi Vert on From the Garden, but I'd put this as my least favorite track. I think it's fine as a trunk slapper. It has bass that is thicker than Nina Stack, so you know that's thick, but there wasn't too much going on with the production or the rapping that really stuck out to me. I actually felt like it kind of felt out of place in the track list. Not an all-out awful track. I can work with it, but I didn't really like it too much here. And I would say a much better performance comes from J-Rock on True Story. He sounds as hungry as ever on here over that slinky bass line, so hopefully we got some J-Rock on the way. He's low-key been one of the most consistent TDE members in my opinion, because pretty much every album he drops is dope. But to wrap up some of the stray tracks here, we have Hey Mista and 9-3 Freestyle. I think these are two of the weaker tracks. These ones were kind of a lull in the album for me. Again, they're not all out trash. You can deal with them. I'm not jumping for the skip button, but they're only under 2 minutes. There's not a whole lot going on with them. They just kind of feel like loosies that could have been cut, but for whatever reason, he pasted them on there. There's just not much of note about the rapping or production with these tracks, although it did make me laugh on 9-3 Freestyle when he said that a girl was sucking dick so good, she deserves a B+ and a Prius. So obviously Isaiah is environmentally friendly, wanting to give her a Prius, and a B+, that's not bad, man. That's better than some of the grades I got in school, so I can appreciate that. There's also another interesting line on All Herb, where we get another smooth groove, by the way, with excellent vocals from a Mindy, who does pop up on a couple other tracks here. You have Isaiah spitting, "You Can't See Me, John Cena in Camouflage," which made me think, if we can't see John Cena, but John Cena puts camouflage on, can we then see John Cena? Or do we just see like the camouflage, like an invisible man wearing the camouflage? But even if you just see that, you know a person's there, because you're going to see this camouflage suit or whatever floating in the air. It's just, I don't know, something to think about. You guys let me know what you think about that. But, you know, this was a dope album to me overall. I don't think this surpasses Cilvia Demo. It would be very hard to do that, because that album pretty much is a classic to me. I absolutely love it. But I did like this more than The Sun's Tirade, so I'm really curious to see how you guys would rank these three, because I'm going to give this an 8.5 out of 10. This is a very cohesive project where I think he managed to give us some of those Cilvia Demo vibes, while also freshening us up with some new sounds and styles, and letting us know what he's been up to in his life. However, I do wish he went a little bit deeper. I feel like this was an opportunity for him to really expand on some of the stuff that he was speaking on in these interviews, because even though you do get these tidbits and pieces of information here and there, I think there was an opportunity here to go deeper with the storytelling, maybe some conceptual tracks, really open up with the content. But I'm not going to hold that against him too much, because he's gone through a lot in the past 5 years. He's delivered us a great album, and I think he's using his music to be therapeutic and to have fun with it, you know, so I can't hate on an artist for that. I'm just glad Isaiah is back. Welcome back, Isaiah Rashad. I'm glad he's happy and healthy and giving us some quality music. So you guys let me know down below what you think. And of course, make sure you do that good YouTube and social media stuff where you show me love and you show me lots of it. Thank you for watching, everybody, and I will see you next time. We got a big ass rundown episode coming up soon, so hang tight.